in the Rays rotation. He tops out at 27. He's 25.
He had excellent stuff too the other night at Fenway. His fastball was hitting 92, 93. A lot of movement. The slider was working, and the changeup was very good.
We're all set to play baseball. Derek Jeter in the batter's box in the first pitch of this game, and that's going to be ball one. He didn't miss by much. Tony Randazzo calls the balls and strikes tonight. And a foul up the right side. That's going to be out of play. Tonight's game available in high definition. For a list of cable and satellite providers offering Sun Sports HD along with channel numbers, log on to sunsportstv.com. A 1-1 count to Jeter. Another one up the right side, foul. Jeter at 231 on the year, and Kazmir has had success against him. He just 4 of 28 lifetime against him. One of those hits a home run. Ground ball headed to short. Jason Bartlett up with it. The throw to first, scoop by the Gold Glove of Carlos Peña at first.
Good breaking ball by Scott Kazmir. Got Derek Jeter out in front. And there's the Gold Glover you mentioned, Carlos Peña, outstanding over there with the pick. A throw by Jason Bartlett. Here's the breaking ball right there. Nice pitch down zone. Derek Jeter gets on top of it. Let's take a look at Carlos Peña over there picking that first throw. A little sinker over there. Nice hands.
Now Johnny Damon. Pitch is a strike. The veteran outfielder Damon, 35 years old. Bounce it the other way, nothing in 2. Kazmir last year 12-8. He was 2-1 against the Yankees with an earned run average in 3 starts against New York of 1.06. Another one foul the other way, out of play.
3 good fastballs by Scott, 92 miles an hour. He's got a good look on his face. You know, we were talking in the pregame show about preparation. He looks prepared. He's got a real good look about him right now.
Ground ball, first base side, foul. Holds the count. When you look at his lifetime numbers, and we talked during his other start against the Red Sox how he's pitched well against Boston for the most part. He gets up to pitch against them. Same thing with the Yankees. He has a great lifetime ERA against Seattle of just over 1.5. And then of all clubs, the Texas Rangers with their hard-hitting team, his lifetime ERA is just a little over 2. And it's just a bit over 2.5 against the Yankees. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That was the first slider Scott has thrown. The curveball he threw to Jeter got the ground out. That was the slider, 86.
Upstairs, 2-2.
A pretty good slider too. I thought it would look like it was right there. But yeah, that's amazing. You know, he pitched well against the Red Sox at Fenway. He pitched well against the Yankees. In this division, that's huge.
Swing and a miss. He strikes out Damon. 2 gone.
Change of pace on the breaking ball. Morrow setting up away. Johnny Damon just swings right through it. Took a little off that one right there, 82 miles an hour. And when I say he's got a good look, what I'm talking about is its focus. He's just got that fine focus on his face right now. He is locked in. He wants to put a 0 up there for these fans and his ball club right here in the first inning.
Nick Swisher takes a pitch down. Swisher's in there at first base in the 3rd spot. Teixeira, they figure, has a pretty good chance of playing tomorrow. He's got a wrist problem that affects him when he swings from the right side. 1-1. Kazmir out there. Teixeira is not in the lineup. And the strike on the outside edge.
Well, those are changeups. Almost break like a curveball, but those are changeups. Outstanding. Got 80 miles in the changeup. Then what are you going to get? You got a couple of choices: slider at the feet, or that 92, 93 fastball.
1-2 pitch. Ground ball foul outside at third. Ground ball and a strikeout to start the game. And a bit with a fastball. Did not come all the way back, and the count squares.
That's a good pitch, though. Stood Nick Swisher up a little bit there. Make him think about it. Change the eyesight. 92 up and in. That's a good pitch.
Two. And he leaves this one up.
The change up again.
Crawford is there and makes the catch to retire the side. 1-2-3 go the Yankees in the top of the first. Rays coming in to hit. Evan Longoria, who's red hot, will hit third in the Rays order. No score, middle of the first. Baseball on Sun Sports is brought to you by Checkers, a little place, big taste. And by your Southeast Toyota dealer. You could buy a car that compares itself to a Toyota, or you could just buy a Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, moving forward. Back in a full house, Tropicana Field. Bottom of the first inning. Lineups for the Rays will find B.J. Upton in the leadoff spot in center, followed by Carl Crawford and the red-hot Evan Longoria. Hitting cleanup, Carlos Peña ahead of Pat Burrell, the DH. Deanna Navarro will catch. Gabe Gross hits seventh. Akinori Iwamura eighth, and Jason Bartlett in the ninth spot.
For the Yankees on the mound, right-hander Chien-Ming Wong, who in his last start last week against the Baltimore Orioles got kicked around a little bit. 3 2/3 innings, gave up 7 runs on 9 hits and 3 walks right here. No strikeouts for Chien-Ming Wong. He's got to have the sinker. If he doesn't have that one, that's when he gets hit. That's his out pitch. He will throw a little bit of a slurve. and he's got a split, but the two-seam hard sinker is his pitch.
It was a big loss to this club last year in the middle of June. And here's B.J. Upton making his debut here for the 09 season. The first pitch is a little bit outside. A ball to no strikes. B.J. 9 home runs last year during the regular season and 7 in the postseason. He played a good part of the year with that left shoulder bothering him. Had that corrected over the winter. Rehabbed that. Missing the first week of this season and ready to go tonight. Wong was 8-2 through 15 starts last year before he went on the disabled list. Picks up a strike. It's 2-1.
Yeah, he's a two-time 19-game winner, and of course, with the addition of CC Sabathia and AJ Burnett, he kind of moves down to the 3 slot really in their rotation.
It's a pop foul back and out of play, and you mentioned his sinker. Sabathia on the right. The Rays will miss him. They'll get AJ Burnett tomorrow and Andy Pettit on Wednesday. The Rays counter with Matt Garza and Andy Sonnenstein. The 2-2. And he works a full count. Well, this is the kind of thing Upton will do that we referenced talking about him in the pregame and during the road trip, what he brings to the Rays in that leadoff spot.
Exactly right. And that was a pretty good two-seamer right there. It was up a little bit, but in. And BJ saw the ball well. And Chien-Ming Wang had a little tough spring, too. That said that he was lagging behind on his pitches. His body was moving ahead of his arm and was keeping the ball up. And so far, the sinkers, which he's thrown all of them, 5 pitches have been up.
3-2 now. And there's ball 4. So Upton, who drew 97 walks last year, has his first walk in his first plate appearance this year.
Take a look at the defense behind Chien-Ming Wang. You got Johnny Damon in left, Melky Cabrera, the switch hitter, playing center field, Xavier Nady in right. Cody Ransom, of course, at third base, off to a tough start, 1 for 20 offensively. The absence of A-Rod. Derek Jeter at short, Robinson Cano, Nick Swisher playing first base with the injury and the tendon in the hand to Mark Teixeira, and Jorge Posada behind the plate. Chien-Ming Wang on the mound, and we'll see, of course, the way the Rays run. Even though Posada is healthy, I'm sure they're going to try to take advantage of the combination of Wang and Posada.
Carl Crawford in the batter's box, and there goes Upton with a good jump, and the throw not even close. And so Upton has a stolen base.
I'm glad I got those words out before the first pitch.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you. You would really be surprised if the Rays just don't take advantage of Posada, who's trying to come back with the kind of speed the Rays can put out there. And Upton, a straight line to second, made it easily.
And Posada kind of threw a little bit of a changeup down there. Not a whole lot on the throw. He got it there, but not a whole lot on it.
Oh, and Upton, after the steal, has Crawford hit by that pitch. Crawford heads to first. That pitch came up to Crawford and hits him.
Take a look at Carl Crawford. Jorge Posada sets up inside. That one got away, and Carl turned the right way in toward the catcher. That's the way to do it. Got him on the back of the right shoulder. In fact, maybe the tricep. And now you got the hottest man right now in the American League in Evan Longoria, especially against right-handed pitchers.
Well, this guy with a 6-game hitting streak leads the majors with 5 home runs. Pitch inside. A ball, no strikes.
Evan hitting .611 versus right-handed pitching, first in Major League Baseball.
The turn, nothing doing, but Cano taking a couple steps toward the bag. You know, last year, interestingly enough, when Evan first came up, he hit right-handers very well and struggled against lefties, and it really was a process for him to catch up. To turn again, no throw on a move back there, and he had to really work to get that average up against left-handed pitching.
You know, it's interesting. I was talking about that with a friend of mine today about right-handers growing up. You see so many right-handed pitchers.
He did not go.
And of course, in professional baseball, I mean, there's more and more lefties, but really for most of us growing up, if you're right-handed, you see a lot of right-handed pitchers. So, you know, you learn how to use the field, go the other way on the breaking ball. And we saw that in Baltimore. Evan had some nice swings going to right center and dead center on breaking balls.
Bounds it back, and it seemed, Kevin, to me that he was against right-handers so much more direct to the ball, and against lefties was kind of out and around a little bit.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about this past week with Evan and breaking his swing down. He stays inside the ball nicely and just uses those wrists at the end. But if both arms get extended too soon, like on a lefty with a two-seamer, you roll that ball over to the left side.
Took a cut, fouls it, squares it at 2-2.
Here's that good running count that you'd like to see. You got two speedsters on the bases, although Cano is really holding B.J. Upton close, but Chien-Ming Wang doesn't have exactly a great command, but if he does throw the sinker and it's down, it's a ground ball.
And again a turn, but nothing doing as he pays more attention to Upton, with Upton out there at second base.
I mean, you might just wait and see if it goes to 3-2 before you start the runners and let Evan just get a good look at the pitch.
And a cut to miss. He missed the fastball. First strikeout for Wong in the first out of the ninth.
Well, Chien-Ming Wang made a pitch when he had to. Little two-seam action right there. Evan kind of pulled off it a little bit. And he shakes his head because he knows he had a couple of pitches that normally he will hit. You get a few more. Yeah, this is where your teammates have to pick you up. I mean, he's really been carrying the ball club offensively this first week of the season, and now you've got Carlos Peña and Pat Burrell behind you who have to just pick you up.
Peña has had success against Wong in the past to the tune of .333, 5 out of 15. And 3 of those hits have been extra base hits, a home run and 2 doubles. Rays trying to strike early with a couple men on and nobody out. Kazmir, retired New York, in order in the first.
Interesting situation because you got Upton, who really wants to go right now with Carl Crawford at first, so the Yankees can't shift over too far, especially at third base, because Ransom won't be able to get there if they do. There's Cody Ransom right here, and he won't be able to get to third base.
And again, Wong has increased the attention he is giving to Upton after Upton all but walked into second base with a steal. Upton with his lead. Jeter in behind him. There they go. The pitch down and in, and the throw. Not in time. A double steal. Upton steals third with Crawford trailing into second. So the Rays applying the pressure. Count to Peña goes to 1-1.
Good jump by BJ right there. Cody Ransom puts the tag on, but you see it's on the right foot after the left leg already got in there. BJ up in 2 stolen bases already. The walk that you talked about in the pregame, he's already paying off.
And a high foul down the right side and well out of play. Takes the count to 1-2. Well, he can be such a dynamic player, Upton. He's very talented, and he's not afraid to take the game to the opposition, and that's what he's done here. His first time on base this season, getting his first start of the year tonight.
Now, Yankees, of course, playing way back, and a big shift on the right side. Robinson Cano's in the outfield grass, so contact is a necessity here.
He started to go, checked in time. It's Jerry Lane down at third. 2-2 the count.
Robinson Cano way out there on the outfield grass. Peña hits the ball so hard. He can play out that far. Still make a play.
And a liner up the half in right center field. Cut off out there by Nady. Upton scores. Crawford scores. And a double for Peña. And the Rays take a 2-0 lead. Peña on a 2-2 pitch doubles into right center field.
So far, all we've seen from Chien-Ming Wang is the two-seam fastball for the most part, and everything is up. Here it is. That's a two-seamer right there, but it's belt high. Did have a little movement away, but it was about thigh to belt high right there, and Peña just shortened his swing and put it in play, and with his strength, hits the seam in right center field for the two-run double. But that's been the problem with Chien-Ming Wang all spring, not just his first start at Baltimore. Yankees are aware of it, and they make an appearance to the mound to talk to him.
Yeah, Kevin, when he's right with that sinker, he's almost with the sinker the same way that Mariano Rivera is with the cutter. He's just going to throw that sinker one time after another, but it's been up tonight. Here's Pat Burrell. Ball one.
That's exactly right. He's a one-pitch pitcher. I mean, if you remember the playoffs a couple of years ago, the reason he got knocked around by the Indians is he was doing what he's doing right now. One pitch and everything was up, and he doesn't have something the equalizer. He doesn't have any other pitch to get you out on, really.
2-0.
It's amazing as a starter that you can have one pitch basically and still win 19 games in 2 different years. That's how dominant his sinker can be. But when it's not right, this is what happens to him.
Up to 20 pitches here in the inning. 2 runs home with Peña at second. 1 out. And he picks up the strike zone with that one. It's 2-1.
I think it was important for Pat Burrell in Baltimore yesterday to have a couple of hits to end his road trip. He struggled a little bit early. His batting average up to 200, but as I mentioned the last couple of days, he's a streaky hitter. Once he gets going, gets locked in, he's a big-time run producer.
Yeah, that was a great sign, and those 2 hits. There's a line drive into left center field, and that's going to be in there. Extra bases. Peña will score. Pat's on his way to second with a double, and the Rays lead 3-0. Back-to-back 2-base hits from Peña and Burrell.
What we're talking about with Pat Burrell, I mean, he got 2 hits yesterday to finish his game. Starts today off with a nice short compact swing, driving the ball to left field, left center. Again, that's a two-seamer that's way up.
Well, Burrell's been on 4 times in a row and started with a walk over in Baltimore. Then he doubled to right center. He singled to center, and he pulled this one into left center. He's spraying the ball all over the place.
That's what he does. I saw him a ton in the National League, and that's when he gets going. That's what kind of hitter he is. He's streaky like that.
Leonard Navarro bunts foul right back into the screen. Strike 1.
A little element of surprise right there by Navarro because Cody Ransom was so far back and off the third base line, playing Navarro to pull, that he would have had no chance. You know, if the bunt's down, he's got first and third and 1 out. Not a bad play. Just to keep you honest. Especially with Gross and Iwamura behind him.
And a foul back, out of play, 2 strikes. Long, 28 years old. When he's right, he throws about 60% ground balls with that sinker.
Sure does, yep.
tap, first base side foul, glove by Swisher.
You know, one of the better sinker ballers that you'll see in baseball. Of course, he's been in the National League the last 4 years, and now with the Atlanta Braves, Derek Lowe. Derek has a great sinker, and you know, 2 out of his 3 outs will be on the ground. But the difference with Lowe is he'll throw you some breaking balls to keep you honest. He's got a pretty good little breaking ball that he throws, and he started using a cutter that Rick Honeycutt taught him when he was with the Dodgers.
A little bit inside. Sometimes that pitch will come back for Wong, but not that time.
That's what he was trying to do. Run that pitch back over the inside part of the plate as Navarro buckled on it.
Still alive with a little number foul.
We've talked all week about the word grinding at bats, and it's tonight again. I mean, BJ starts it off, BJ Upton, by working the count full, and already Chen-Ming Wong's pitch count is up there.
Well, BJ worked that that leadoff at bat to perfection. Took the count to 3-2, walked, swiped 2 bases. Crawford hit by a pitch and picked up a steal on the double steal. Both have scored. Well, Nobby has the count out to 2-2 after he fell behind. Slice out of play. Damon gives it a chase beyond the bullpen mound, but no chance. Sellout crowd tonight. Tomorrow night, it's all but sold out. There are a few remaining tickets, so if you're thinking about coming out tomorrow night and you'll get a chance to get the replica championship ring, it would be worth your while to try to grab those extra tickets that are still available. Not many left. They figure it'll be a sellout as well. 2-2 now. Ground ball headed toward the middle. Backhanded by Cano, and a wide throw to first. Everybody's safe with Burrell taking third. Cano had to make an off-balance throw and wound up in shallow center field. And Navarro is aboard.
Really solid at bat by Deanna Navarro, working the count, battling, fouling balls off, got something he could handle, squared it up pretty nicely on the ground up the middle, and gave it that jump throw over there, but wide of Nick Swisher at first base. And now you've got first and third, you got one out, you got a hole on the right side with a lefty, Gabe Gross, up there.
And Navarro had fallen behind and wound up seeing 8 pitches in that at bat, making contact and reaching on the base hit.
That's 30 pitches already for Chen-Ming Wong.
Here's Gabe Gross. He fouls it back. Well, this is exactly what the Rays want to see. First game of a series. If they can push that pitch count on the starting pitcher and get into the bullpen early, push that bullpen a little bit.
Now that's exactly right. I mean, you get the Yankees for a couple of more days here, and then you've got the White Sox coming in. But especially against New York, get into that bullpen early in game 1.
Gross takes it low, 1-1.
Of course, the last thing that Joe Girardi wants is to have to get the bullpen up in this inning. But Chen-Ming Wong is over 30 pitches already, and before this inning's over, unless he gets a double play ball, I mean, he's going to be at 35 to 40 pitches. Gabe Gross works the count here a little bit.
Gross fouls it out of play. 1-2. Gabe's trying to shake out of a 1 of 11 start. He's shown he has the capability of working the count even when he falls behind.
Yeah, I thought in Boston a couple of his at bats are really good, and he got some calls that went against him, especially in the Josh Beckett game. But he's been impressive. He's got a good eye at the plate, even though he's got the slow start. It's early.
He fouls it right side, broke his bat in the process, and there's just another pitch. Long worked 3 2/3 in his first start of the year, gave up 9 hits and 7 runs to Baltimore. The Rays striking early against him tonight. Another foul.
Pretty impressive, by the way, pregame ceremony. Seeing the banners go up in left field, players carrying them out. That was really nice.
Yep, there they are.
Well done. Really nice.
And a good look, and that pitch is low. Some of the pregame ceremonies and the positioning of the championship banners.
Yeah, the energy was great. I love the energy here tonight. Fans are into it. The expectations are there, and they should be. The Rays have turned the corner. Got the respect of baseball. And being with the club this past week and meeting a few of the guys here and there and on the plane, it's a positive group. And I know it starts at the top, including Joe Madden, but the guys are I think they know how good they are and how good they can be.
And look at this. Gross, after falling behind, has worked the count full, and again an extended at bat. This next pitch will be the 8th pitch of the at bat. There's action in the bullpen already. Long is pushing 40 pitches now.
Yes,
he's up 37 pitches.
Navarro should go here too, because Gross is locked in. I think he's going to put the ball in play. Stay out of the double play.
3-2 and a liner into left center. Here comes Burrell in to score. Navarro's headed to third to throw into second. Big turn by Gross. Now he's caught between second and first as they run him down, and he is tagged out by Swisher. So Gross made a big turn and suddenly found himself in no man's land. Navarro went to third. The 4th run of the inning crossed the plate as Burrell scored. Gross drives in a run, but turning the bag aggressively found himself in the rundown.
Yeah, Gabe had a nice at bat. He got a 2-seamer, another one up, by the way, in the left center field. Looked like it was going to go through, but a lefty hitting the ball that way, the ball will kind of tail the fielder, and Johnny Damon cut the ball off. And Gabe's just going on his own there. He just thinks he can make it, and then he goes, whoop, and put on the brakes, and by then it was too late. He was halfway. Navarro was not running on the pitch, but and might have scored had he been, but nonetheless, that's a good at bat by Gabe Gross.
Akinori Iwamura with a count of a ball and no strikes. Markey fouls it away. He's up to 40 pitches now here in the first. This is exactly what the Rays want to do. Grind out these at bats and run high pitch counts against the opposing starters.
I tell you, Chen-Ming Wong, he almost looks like he's hurting. He's laboring just to get the ball to home plate. There's not a whole lot on his pitches, so I'm not going to say he's hurt, but he looks like he is, just the way he's throwing. Like his arm ball, it's not coming out of his hand very easy. Really trying to force the action, force the movement.
And a little check swing roller right side. Hockey digging hard. Long is over, and he takes the toss from Swisher to retire the side. But the Rays score 4 times in the first. The walk by Upton started it all. Peña doubled home 2. Burrell doubled home 1. Gross drove in the other run. 4-0 Tampa Bay. Rays with a 4-run first, leading 4-0 as we go to the second. Scott Kazmir back to the mound for the Rays. He had a 1-2-3 first, getting Jeter, Damon, and Swisher. And there's Chin-Ming Wong. 42 pitches for Wong in that first inning. Jorge Posada will open the second for New York. Posada, Xavier Nady, and then Robinson Cano. The pitch outside to Posada. Jorge, 37 years old, and he's coming off surgery on that right shoulder. Rotator cuff and labrum problems. 1-1. So while he tries to recover from that, you have to believe the Rays will run at every opportunity.
Absolutely they will. You know, their best defensive catcher, of course, is on the bench, and Jose Molina, who led the American League in throwing out runners, throwing percentage. 43, 44%. One of the Molina brothers. He can flat out throw, but of course he's not the offensive player that Jorge is. And Jorge came off his best year in 07 offensively to get that big contract extension.
Swing and a miss. Kazmir strikes out Posada.
Kazmir really has a lot of confidence with that off speed, the changeup, and he's not afraid to throw it. I mean, that's what that was right there. Even though it was up, it was the arm speed that fooled Posada. He sees fastball in his mind, and instead he gets an 80-mile-an-hour changeup instead of 92 or 93.
Xavier Nady, the right fielder. Down and in. 1 ball, no strikes. High fly ball, straight away center. Upton will go back, still on the move at the track, and he got it. He caught that ball. B.J. Upton with his back to the infield, facing the wall, takes care
the whole way. I mean, he got a great jump. Let's take a look at how he did this. He got a great jump. He knows where the ball's at. He knows where the wall is at. And he does the Willie Mays over the shoulder catch. He's got it tracked all the way. Checks the wall quickly. Knows he's got about 3 more strides before he hits that. And makes the play right up at the base of it. He knew exactly where he was at. Well, let's see. He's done work the count that you talked about. He stole a couple bases. He's made a great defensive play. I guess he's got to go deep tonight at some point.
Yeah. Well, he's talked about everything we've talked about. I'll tell you, he's done it.
That's impressive.
1 strike to count to Robinson Cano. That's how dynamic this young man is. Wow.
That was cool.
I'll tell you, he made a sensational catch.
He did.
Look routine.
He did. He really did.
I mean, you had a feeling watching him tracking it he was going to get it. He did. That's a sensational catch, but routine. Bartlett takes care of Cano on the bouncer, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. Stamp this with a star, folks. A great play by Upton. Rays lead 4-0.
Tampa Bay Rays and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Tampa Bay Rays.
They're still buzzing here about the catch made by B.J. Upton. Kazmir said the other day couldn't wait for Upton to get back because he knew he'd have his back in center field. Wow, does he?
All the way to the wall, he had his back, and you know what?
Jason Bartlett, the pitch bounces in from Chien-Ming Wong.
And Kazmir, you make a play like that, that pumps the pitcher up, and that makes him even throw better because he knows you guys can play defense behind him. And Kazmir just finished off that inning after that. I mean, he's retired 6 in a row now.
Another strike from Wong. Another look at that catch. Nady hits it to deep center. Now, watch his reaction. You'll never see a greater catch look easier than Upton made that one. Bartlett has a base hit. You know, Kevin, it's interesting. And you made this comment about Wong. You know, there's something not right with him. He came out his first warm-up toss. He threw to the backstop, up and away to the mid side of Posada. And you could be right there.
Well, you know, being a catcher from the time I was 8 years old, you're looking at pitchers all your life, and you can see the look. And when I was talking about Scott Kazmir has a good look on the mound, it's not just the stuff. He got that determination, that look like, you know what, I'm confident. I got it tonight. And Wong has never had that in this game. Not just because it's, 4 runs on the board. He's forcing the issue. And so to me, part of it is, okay, I don't know where the ball's going, but also there could be something seriously, he's not feeling 100%.
Bartlett's aboard at first base. And again, we get into that leadoff number 9 spot. You know, Bartlett is open the second with a base hit. He can run. Upton in the batter's box. There goes Bartlett. The pitch is a strike, and the throw will skip through into center field. Bartlett has himself a stolen base. Now the Rays keep the pressure on. 4 stolen bases for the Rays the first time through the order.
And you got to go for it. I mean, this game's got a long ways to go. And hey, you know, you take advantage of what they give you. Chien-Ming Wang is slow to the plate in the stretch, runner at first, and Posada bouncing that ball. Unfortunately, you know, for Posada, he's getting a big workout. And if this game really gets opened up, you know, Posada, you'll see Molina just come in the game later because they're going to wear him out.
There's a bunt rolled up the third base side. He's going to beat it out. Bartlett over to third. Upton is doing everything here in the first couple innings of this game. He put down a perfect bunt to beat it out. Wow, what a start for Upton.
Yeah, we forgot about the bunt. Yeah, okay, that bunt, then the long one. Look at this bunt right. That is bunting for a base hit right there. Now it hit the seam of the turf right there, and it possibly could have rolled foul. Watch it hit the seam of the dirt right there and kind of roll off. I think it was slow enough that it would have stayed fair. Chien-Ming Wang, though, had no chance, so really your best bet is just to let it roll.
It's Crawford. A pitch out, but nothing doing. The Rays have been so aggressive. The Yankees pitch out on the first pitch to Crawford with Upton over at first.
See, what Joe Madden does with his club is he makes the other manager have to make a decision, and you know, you almost have to pitch out. I haven't seen anybody.
Another pitch out. How about that?
I was just going there.
He's really forcing the issue.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you have to double pitch out on different counts to try to slow down Joe Madden's managing style and the guys that are on their own, which are most of the Rays' base runners. I mean, they're on their own, and sometimes they'll get a stop sign. But like BJ said the other night when we had him on the phone when we were at Fenway Park, he said that Joe puts us on his own, doesn't stop us very often.
Now it's 3-0 to Crawford.
Wong's got to come out of this game here pretty soon. Although the Yankees don't have their bullpen. Now they are. Now they're getting up.
The other thing about pitch outs, Girardi led the American League managers in calling pitch outs last year. And there's ball 4, so Crawford walks, and the bases are loaded. Dave Island will go to the mound. The pitching coach, he was out there in the first and makes another trip in the second inning. Rays have loaded the bases. Hey, don't forget you can experience a Rays game from the all-inclusive Whitney Bank Club. Has extraordinary seating and luxurious lounge and dining areas. The club features upscale full menu buffets and inclusive drink options. So put your group together, make your plans to see Rays baseball from the Whitney Bank Club. Call 888-FAN-RAYS or go to raysbaseball.com for more information.
Well, the meeting on the mound breaks up. They took as much time as they possibly could to have their bullpen ready because I just can't see Chien-Ming Wang going much past another hitter or so unless he gets a big out right here. Another base runner. I think Joe Girardi has to make a change because Chien-Ming Wang's just not right.
Evan Longoria takes the pitch inside. The bases are loaded with nobody out.
You know, anybody that's been hurt, by the way, will tell you, I can throw hard. I mean, Rob Dibble, for example, somebody I've worked with on radio.
Big cut and a miss by Longoria. It's 1-1.
Had a big injury, you know, after about 7 years in the big leagues, 8 years. He said, it's not that I couldn't throw 95 anymore. I just didn't know where it was going. I was embarrassing myself. I didn't have the feel in the release point.
Well, I'm sure you know, I mean, as a manager and a catcher, sometimes a guy can be hurt. A little tap foul. And the first thing really to go before velocity would be command and location.
That's exactly the point. Exactly right. That's what I was saying. And so it's, you know, when pitchers are, you'll hear me say sometimes the ball comes out of his hand easy. He's really got the feel. He's in the flow. He's got a good lather. It's all that. It's the command. It's the location. It's the the look on your face, body language. Chien-Ming Wong's body language from the first hitter, B.J. Upton today, just hasn't been good.
2-2 the count to Evan Longoria. Bartlett third with Upton at second, and Crawford's aboard at first. A tap foul. The Rays lineup has been grinding out at bats, but they've also been on the attack.
Yeah, and you really want to put them away. I mean, this game's got a long ways to go, and you want to open this thing up big time right here. Evan knows that. Got to go the other way, use the field.
2, and he bounces it foul outside of third. Avaladeo is up in the bullpen again. He was up in the first and up again here in the second. There he is. Again, a foul ball, this time through the coaching box at third.
This is just like instant replay. Longoria keeps getting the same pitch in on his hands, and he keeps fighting and battling and grinding, as we say, and hopefully he gets a mistake. And if he does, we know what Evan can do with it. Square it up pretty good.
And it's a little wide. So the count 3-2. That's 59 pitches now for Wong. Nobody out here in the second inning.
5 batters have seen 7 or more pitches. This is the 9th pitch to Evan right here.
And a liner foul down through the bullpen. So we'll make it 10. Bartlett single. Upton bunted. Crawford walked. 3-2 to Longoria. And that's low for ball 4. That will force home a run. Bartlett crosses the plate. Longoria picks up his 11th run batted in of the year. So a 10-pitch at bat to draw the bases loaded walk. And Joe Girardi's out of the dugout and headed to the mound to make a pitching change. The Rays have built a 5-0 lead. Back in a moment. A-Rod in uniform as he rehabs. There was some talk about him being back a little earlier than they had originally projected. We'll see how that turns out. Chien-Ming Wong gone after an inning plus, and Jonathan Albaladeo is the new pitcher. He made a couple of appearances in their opening series over in Baltimore. Did not pitch in Kansas City. And here's Carlos Peña with the bases loaded. He rips it foul past the ducking George Hendrick in the coaching box at first.
Albaladeo was originally a Pirate. 2001, signed out of Miami-Dade Community College. 19th round draft pick. 26-year-old from Puerto Rico. Came over from the Nationals. For the Yankees at Tyler Clippard in December of 2007.
One ball, one strike. Peña doubled in 2 runs in the 4-run first. The Rays have another run home in the second, and they have the bases loaded with nobody out. Peña getting time, and he will do that if the pitcher's taking a little more time than he likes. He'll take a little time and try to reset the situation. There's a drive, high and deep and gone. Grand slam for Carlos Peña. A 1-1 pitch, and he hits it out of here. How about Carlos Peña? He doubled in 2 runs in the first, and he's just unloaded a grand slam home run here in the second inning, and the Rays lead 9-0. He did reset the moment.
I was just going to say that, you know, I guess that little time that he took there got him locked in and made Albaladeo wait, and he threw a fastball right down the middle, and Carlos did not miss it. 6 runs driven in tonight.
Now here's Pat Burrell. Take a look at this. A blast by Peña.
Oh, wait, he hits those long, high ones. That one in Baltimore he hit. Over that big scoreboard they have in right field was a blast as well. He's strong.
That's his 6th career grand slam. 1-2 the count to Burrell. Boy, it didn't take it long to get out of here. That's his 3rd home run. Two balls, 2 strikes. So 8 runs, 8 charged to the starter Wong. He gave up 7 his last time out. Burrell, that pitch inside. Full count.
Another full count. Another one.
Yep. That's the way the offense started for the Rays when Upton walked on a full count in the first. Ground ball, 3rd, diving stop by Ransom. He gets up and makes the throw to first. And that, folks, is the first out here in the second inning. 1 away.
And Ransom was playing so wide of the bag. Normally that's a base hit through the hole, but he was playing Burrell way off at third base and in the hole at shortstop. Take a look how far over Ransom is, and really a step and a half at a dive, and the ball's right there. But normally that's a base hit. Pat Burrell hit that right on the screws.
Well, I knew we were going to like the lineup with Upton leading off. I didn't know we'd like it this much.
My goodness.
Wow.
It's impressive. And he's done everything. Walked, stolen a couple of bases, bunt base hit, made a Willie Mays over-the-shoulder catch. Like you said, as good as you're going to see. It made it look easy.
The Navarro fouls one, 0-2.
Pretty impressive opening day start. First start of the year for a healthy B.J. Upton. He should be smiling. Now Joe Madden knows, hey, we got a long way to go, and it's not about you're going to blow any type of lead or anything. It's like, hey, let's just keep playing good, intense baseball. This game's not over, and let's play hard and intense, good defense. We want Kazmir to have a good start. Kazmir's had to sit now 2 innings in a row for a long period of time. We want to make sure that he comes out and stays sharp. He's got good stuff tonight. Managers never get those happy faces on early.
A little popper back at third. Ransom chasing it down, and he cannot hold on to it. Damon with a pickup. Throw back to first, and back in safely goes Navarro. Now Navarro has his second hit off the glove of Ransom, dropping into short left.
Long way to go for Cody Ransom right here. High fastball. Navarro pops it up and in and out of the glove of Cody Ransom. Johnny Damon was way off to the left. Really, if Johnny can get there, he's got to call Ransom off, because it's outfield priority, fly ball priority. The outfielder coming in has a better look, obviously, and I think Johnny could have gotten there, but he thought Ransom had a beat on it, so he didn't want to mess with him. It's a tough play for the kid.
Gabe Gross takes the pitch outside. 1-0. Gross singled in a run in the first. Ground ball down to third. Ransom knocks it down. He'll go to first with the throw, and it's dug out by Swisher. Navarro moves up to second. 2 gone. So suddenly Ransom has been busy down there on the third base side.
Yeah, 3 plays in a row for Cody Ransom, and he was wide of the bag, much like he was on Burrell. Otherwise, that's a base hit through the hole. You expect him to be wide with a left-hand hitter up, not so much with that Burrell up. But there are more hits that go into the hole than there are down the line, either way. So they take it away. He's playing the same way right now again.
Akadori Iwamura up here, the 9th man to hit in the inning for the Rays. It's too low. The Rays sent 8 men to the plate in the first and scored 4. They've scored 5 here in the second. And there's a foul ball back at third. Hockey taking it the other way, as he so often does. And a souvenir. 1-1.
Good road trip for Aki. 364, did a nice job, whether you be hitting 9 or leading off. Both he and Jason Bartlett did a nice job.
2-1.
That's why, like you said earlier, Dwayne, it's what a tough lineup when you got Iwamura hitting 8th, Bartlett 9th now. Those 2 guys are hitting 9 or 1 on the road trip because B.J. Upton's back.
Well, there's some guys at the end of the lineup who could create some action down there for you.
Yeah.
Ground ball right side. Cano with the pickup. The throw to first in time. Retiring the side, but the Rays score 5 in the second. 4 coming on. The grand slam by Carlos Peña. We're through 2, 9-0 Tampa Bay. Welcome back to a sellout crowd tonight at Tropicana Field. The Rays have jumped to a 9-0 lead with a 4-run first and a 5-run second. Carlos Peña unloading the big blow with a grand slam home run in the second. We go to the third. Scott Kazmir now with this big lead, facing Hideki Matsui, the DH, to lead off. Not only is tonight's game sold out, but in the short time since we've hit the air, they're also sold out tomorrow night. Wave and a miss by Hideki Matsui. It's going to be Matt Garza and A.J. Burnett tomorrow, so you're going to see a heck of a pitching matchup tomorrow. And pick up the replica championship rings.
Yeah, that's. I think the Rays are going to sell out a lot this year. It's too exciting a club not to come out and see this type of baseball.
0-2 the count. So in that Yankee series, that leaves tickets available for the Wednesday game. Andy Solenstein and Andy Pettit, and that's a 4 o'clock game. First pitch is 4:08 on Wednesday. High, 1 ball, 2 strikes, so it'll be a great opportunity to get your work done early and slip out to the ballpark Wednesday to see the Rays of the Yankees wrap up the series. Chopper back at first. Peña slips but tosses to Kazmir, and Matsui's out of there. 1 away.
Nice job by Kazmir breaking to the right side immediately. And Peña was deep at first base, and with the slip, Peña wouldn't have got there if Scott hadn't gotten to the bag. So nice reaction by Scott Kazmir.
Joe Madden. We'll be talking with Joe in the top of the 4th inning, so we're looking forward to that chat.
Davey Martinez moving the outfield in a little bit from right, especially.
There's Ransom lifting a high pop-up on the left side. Bartlett waiting for it to come down and makes the catch. That was a long wait.
Well, Ransom's had a tough start filling in for Alex Rodriguez. He's now 1 for 21. He's hit no 50 coming into this game. Scott Kazmir really hasn't missed a beat, which is good news. With 2 long innings having to sit on that bench, he's come right out and thrown strikes. Done a nice job.
There's Melky Cabrera with the bases empty and 2 outs. Down and away, 1-0. Scott's gotten the first 2 outs here on 5 pitches. There's the strike, and it's a 1-1 count to Cabrera. He had an 8-pitch second inning, and boy, that's another good sign for the Rays. They'd love to see a lot more of those. There's a good pitch on the outside part of the plate. 1-2.
Look at that last pitch by Scott Kazmir. He just powers the fastball in the outer third of the plate, and good alignment with the feet, good mechanics.
One hopper that's going to skip past Peña and into right. Seemed to speed up a little bit, and Cabrera has a base hit. That's his first of the year. He'd gone 0 for 4, and he singles into right.
Nothing wrong with that pitch by Scott Kazmir, though. That's a good fastball, and Melky Cabrera just was in contact mode and just did punch it past Carlos Peña. Good pitch. Look at this thing right off the outside corner. 2-strike pitch with good movement on it. Carlos just couldn't come up with it.
Now the top of the order with Cabrera reaching. 2 outs. Here's Derek Jeter. Kazmir, a first pitch strike. I just thought Kazmir, you know, we've seen him be very good in the past, but I was really encouraged with the substance, the texture of his outing against the Red Sox in Boston. There was something special about that that outing.
Yeah, he had a real air of confidence to me about him, and even in the 6th inning in Fenway, Joe Madden felt it also, and he let him stay in there with the game on the line, and he got the final 2 outs of that 6. And one of them was a big strikeout to Jason Bay. That's a good pitch right there. Wow.
2-1 now.
Somebody blink. I mean, you can't make a better pitch than that.
Oh, man.
It's not where Navarro caught it, it's where across the plate. And that had to hit knees.
Chopper headed toward the middle. Force at second. Bartlett to Iwamura. Takes care of the Yankees in the 3rd. They leave a man. We head into the home half of the inning with the Rays leading 9-0.
And the things that a lot of people in the front office also on the field that went through, I think it's going to be great. And I know I'm going to enjoy it as much as anybody else.
That's the Geico quote of the game. First pitch, meanwhile, to Jason Bartlett, and he has hit it out. How about Jason Bartlett? Bartlett jumps on the first pitch and makes it a 10-0 game here in the bottom of the 3rd. The Rays are all over this one. And Bartlett, who homered in the 7th inning of the game yesterday in Baltimore, hit one out to center in Baltimore. He lines this one out of here to left to start the bottom of the 3rd.
Take a look at the pitch right here. It's right down the middle. And he squared it up again. And you knew immediately when he made contact it was gone. And Ben Zobrist was talking in the postgame show yesterday that Jason's gotten a little stronger, bumped up a little bit this year. They knew immediately that one in Baltimore yesterday was gone as soon as he hit it. That was the same thing.
DJ takes a breaking ball for a strike. Well, how about Bartlett? You know, he made a nice little play on that ball hit by Jeter for the force. He didn't even give us time to talk about that. And he's hitting a home run.
It was a great play. Made it look easy. Took a base hit away from Jeter by getting that force.
So Bartlett has homered, and the Rays have scored 10 runs here. One ball, 2 strikes. We saw Steve Henderson on the Geico quote. You know, he's another guy. He's been in the Rays organization for the past 12 years, 8 as a minor league instructor, and the rest of the time as big league hitting coach. So it really meant something for him. I mean, he's been right there with some of these young players as well to see them develop.
Absolutely. I mean,
Upton fouls it away.
Like I said earlier, the Rays have turned the corner. I mean, the new ownership group has been a huge huge part of it. But, you know, when you see the aches and pains you go through, like a guy like Steve Henderson from day one, and you want to get, you know, over 500 and you want to win a division, and you do that all in 1 year, then you go to the World Series.
Upton out on strikes. First out here in the third.
I mean, that would touch you being in the organization. It is if you're outside the organization, you come in for the first time, or if you've been here a couple of years. But when you've seen the growth from the beginning of what this organization's been about, and now you see the changes, especially in the front office and with the manager, and you can be part of that. That's a special feeling for anybody.
Carl Crawford, the pitch is high.
Another one right there. Tom Foley.
Yep.
From the beginning.
He was here a couple of years before they put a big league club on the field. 1-1 to count to Crawford.
You know, the reason I say that too is you have pride when you're doing what Tom's doing, coaching third base, what Steve Henderson's doing. These guys all played. They played in the big leagues. They were good players. You have pride putting the uniform on. You have pride in your organization. And you want to be able to walk around, you know, with a Rays shirt on and say, hey, that's the Rays now. You know, I've seen enough of that across the country with other organizations like the Red Sox or Yankees for that matter. It's the Rays. Hey, that's a darn good organization.
2-1 pitch. High fly ball. That's back into left center. Cabrera will go to the track, and just as he hit the track, he made the catch for the second out. Get in on the 09 Rays action with exclusive on-field seating with your group of 50 or more at the Checkers Bullpen Cafe. Available dates are filling up fast, so act now to make your private group reservations behind the Rays bullpen by calling 727-825-3406 or go to RaysBaseball.com. A little elbow room down there, and you're close to seeing what's going on in the Rays bullpen. Now Evan Longoria, pitch outside, 1-0. You know, to go back to that thought you had a moment ago, Kevin, about the pride of wearing a Rays uniform. I don't know if you noticed on the plane ride home last night, everybody got on, and the pilot, who was a very capable pilot, but he got on the mic and he welcomed the Devil Rays, and immediately the reaction was uproarious.
Boos, oh yeah. If you were falling asleep, it woke you up. Yeah, absolutely, I heard that.
1-2, so. And I think that falls right into line with what you're talking about.
Yeah.
What this team did last year, you know, the whole turnover, colors, Rays, the whole attitude that Madden tried to instill and certainly did. There's a brand new identity with this team. And Madden, to his credit, has demanded excellence, but he has also set the tone to keep it in perspective.
You know, I had a colleague last year, early in the year, make a statement, and I don't need to say the name, but we were on the air on a national show and said, when are they going to get out of AAA? And that statement, I went, wait a minute, you don't understand the talent they have. And that was early in the year.
Yep.
If you don't see the talent, and just because you may not know the names on a national scale doesn't mean they can't play. And that was my point to this particular person I was going back and forth with. And at the end of the day, you know, when the Rays finally got in, of course, we were here together right here on this field, and I said, what did I tell you back in April? Now, I didn't know they were going to go to the World Series, but I said, they've got some good talent here.
Swing and a foul-tipped strikeout to retire the side. The Rays had a run on the home run by Bartlett. We'll be chatting with Joe Madden when we return. Rays lead 10-0. Tropicana Field, we go into the fourth inning with the Rays holding a 10-0 lead. With Kevin Kennedy, Dwayne Stats with you, and we're honored to be joined by Joe Madden, the Rays skipper, for just a short while here in the top of the fourth as Johnny Damon leads off and takes the first pitch from a strike. And Skip, we really appreciate the time. I know that I always feel as if it's an intrusion, and you are just magnificent about the way you react to this. Ground ball, and Longoria will make the play.
He throws so well on the run. You know, a lot of times you don't want an infielder to throw on the run that much, but he's the Joe Montana of infielders.
That's pretty good. We might have to use that.
I'm telling you.
Hey, I want to talk about Kazmir. I mean, we've had this big explosion of offense, but we're talking about Scott's performance in Boston, and right. There was something about that performance that struck me as having, I don't know, more depth, more. I don't want to say more fiber, but it really seemed to me to be a special outing for him. The way he took charge and battled through his innings in Boston. Did you get that?
Yeah, and you watch it right here in this delivery. This is what I'm seeing. He's so much in better balance on the finish of his delivery, and with that, he has a much better idea where the ball's going. I'm talking his fastball, of course, slider, and he's always had the good changeup. But a lot of what he's doing right now for me, his confidence is being built on the fact that his delivery's better and he knows where the ball's going.
Hey, and Joe, the other thing along with that is I notice he checks his feet a lot. Now, I haven't seen as much of him as you guys did, but it looks like he makes an adjustment right away. He's checking to see where he lands after if he doesn't make a throw strike. Right.
You'll notice sometimes, or in the past, last year, he fell off to the third base side a lot, and this year he's more to direct line. He's putting his nose right into the catcher's glove on a more consistent basis, and that leads to better command.
2-1. Left center field, and that ball's going to carry out of here. So Swisher, and you're right, he has been hot. He just hits his third home run of the year to make it a 10-1 game. So he's been a hot hitter. Joe, we'd be remiss if we didn't ask you about the emotion of the moment of posting those banners out there in left field.
It was special, obviously. The way our people put it together also is very special. Having Stu here and of course all the front office personnel. Matthew was downstairs, and Andrew and Jerry and the whole group. It was very special for us as a group. I'm looking up at it. I've looked up there a couple times already tonight, and I'm thinking about 2006 and 7. Obviously there's a big void up in that particular area, but there's plenty of room to put up more.
Joe, I was just going to tag that a little bit when we were talking about pride of an organization and character, and you brought a lot of that to this organization. But could you touch on that? People around the country, you want to wear a Rays uniform. We've seen enough of some of the other organizations, but this organization now is getting respect from fans all across Major League Baseball. And it's
great to see, and you have to earn that respect, and I really believe our guys have. I believe we have a great group of players, obviously, but they're also very good people. And now that I know, Kevin, you've been around our clubhouse a little bit, and Dwayne's been there for a while, this is a great group. We're a very tightly knit group also. I think we support each other very well, and that's a big part of our play on the field, and I like to think that's part of our attractiveness nationwide.
And just one more question, Joe. BJ Upton, is he going to work out the leadoff spot?
That was the whole thing in the offseason. Once we got Pat, see, it's all based on Pat. Having Pat in the middle of the batting would have permitted us to do other things with BJ, and you just know his on-base percentage and his ability to steal bases. He creates havoc with the pitchers, as he's already done in this game. It's just a perfect fit for him based on the fact that we're kind of meaty in the 4, 5, and 6 slot.
Yeah, he's been something tonight, and we look forward to more of what we've seen already this year. And we congratulate you and tip our caps to the job you've done here, and we appreciate the time that you give us in the middle of these innings. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and it's always my pleasure, buddy.
Joe Madden with us, the Rays skipper. We're in the top of the fourth. Swisher's homered. Posada followed with a base hit. Now the count to Xavier Nady is 2 strikes. The Rays have built a 10-1 lead here as we play in the top half of the fourth.
Yeah, that's an important thing what Joe was talking about, the alignment of the feet, because it's something that I always felt as a catcher. I always looked for with my pitches how far off they were falling, and Scott is making an adjustment. These first 2 starts of the year, when he's off balance and falls off too far, he checks himself. He's able to go back and get back to his delivery. Repeating your delivery is really the key for all pitchers for consistency. consistency, obviously.
You know, they had some mechanical concerns with him about that leg lift, you know, and they actually it became something of a leg swing as opposed to a lift, and they thought that really led to some misguided pitches. Down to third, Longoria to Imamura, and across to Peña for the double play. 5-4-3. That takes care of New York. Yankees score a run. We go to the bottom of the fourth. It's 10-1 Tampa Bay. Open the home half of the fourth inning. He's had a great night, including that big blast in the second inning. Time for the Alltel circling the bases moment. How about this? He teed off. The first man Jonathan Albaladeo faced came in with the bases loaded, and Peña unloaded a grand slam home run to right. Alltel Wireless, there's a choice for everyone. Call 5, 10, or 20 free numbers on any network with My Circle exclusively from Alltel. So Carlos is 2 for 2 tonight with 6 runs batted in. The breaking ball. Ball, no strikes.
I like Carlos's setup because he's got that slightly open stance. Then he brings the right foot in with that little tap, and he's down softly. Take a look at his feet right here. And just bring that, cock that right knee in a little bit, bring it back, roll it in the back leg, and explode.
Ahead, 2 balls, no strikes. In case you're wondering, the 6 runs batted in tonight. His career high is 7. He's done that twice. The last time was in September of 07 against Baltimore. A strike, 2-1. And when he's swinging the bat well, it gets on one of these hot streaks. He just doesn't chase bad pitches. He defines that strike zone and hits on his own terms. And he's at his very best when he does that. Takes another close pitch in, 3-1.
It's amazing to see Carlos Peña the last few years here versus early in his career, how people could give up on him. And granted, he had to make some changes, but he's always had this potential. It's not like he had bad years in other places.
It's foul. 3-2. You know, it's interesting because he's about the most positive guy you'll ever find, and his teammates will tell you, and that's the real test. You know what it's like in a clubhouse. They know guys if they're genuine or not.
Absolutely. And
they'll tell you this guy's genuine. I mean, this positive approach he has, that's the way he sees life. And there were some times when with a couple other clubs when I think they misunderstood that.
Definitely. Like he didn't care?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I think you're right.
High going to be a fair ball that falls inside that left field line. Ransom lost it. Jeter tried to come over to save it, but that ball was one of the patented Carlos Peña pop-ups. Didn't touch the rope or anything else up there, and it just falls. And Peña winds up at second with a double.
Well, the roof does have the white backdrop, and that thing is straight up. Ransom lost it from the beginning. He never did see it. And Jeter didn't have a chance either because he thought Ransom had it. But he lost it right off the bat. I don't think Ransom ever saw it.
There's Pat Burrell. Fouls it off his foot for a strike.
But, you know, getting back to Peña for a minute, I think you're right, because I had heard that. And meeting him for the first time last year, I went, wow, this is some kind of guy. And I talked to him a few times last year on a couple different occasions, and he was so positive. And then even on this trip we were on this past week, same way. You know, ran into him in the elevator, and just always upbeat. I mean, that's the type of people you want to be around, isn't it?
Hey, 2 years ago,
wow,
the Rays released him. He was the last guy dropped from spring training, and he was positive through that. He just knew he was going to play for this team, and a day later he wound up playing for the club because of the injury to Greg Norton.
Well, this game is all about perseverance. I mean, all of us that ever played the game have had highs and lows, and you know, you got to battle through it and persevere and feel like your opportunity will kind of keep working and keep striving, keep improving, and that's what he's done.
That's a strike to Burrell, puts him down 1-2.
You know, and the fact that he can field like that's a plus. I mean, he's a Gold Glover.
Yeah, and now has one to prove it.
That's right.
Last year.
Can't take that away from you, Carlos. He's going to get a few more too.
Burrell checks on the pitch in. 2-2.
Pat's seen the ball pretty well here these last few at bats today, obviously, but we talked about it already. The last few at bats there in Baltimore.
And he works the count full. How about Peña? His last 4 at bats, the slugging percentage has really been pretty good. He homered his last at bat in Baltimore, and tonight he has doubled, homered, and doubled again. High pop up. This one is foul. Masada back to the screen, and he stays with it as it came back a little bit to him, and he made the catch. One away. Time for the Aflac trivia question. Aflac, ask about it at work. See what we have up tonight. What are the most home runs hit by the Rays in a home opener? Well, on the topic of home openers, the Rays with a big lead tonight, 10-1. They have the grand slam home run from Carlos Peña, solo homer from Jason Bartlett. Now Deanna Navarro. Peña at second and 1 out. He pops it up left side. Ransom is there to make the catch on this one.
Not high enough to fool Ransom there. Deanna got jammed on that one.
That gives DeHonor 2 out of 3. Gabe Gross now. There's a strike. Chin-Ming Wong started this game, gave up 8 runs in 1 inning plus 4 hitters in the second inning. 2 runs charged to Avaladeo. Rays have hit both their home runs off him. outside, 1-1. Yankees had a game get away from them yesterday in Kansas City.
Sure did. Yep.
The Royals came back to win that one. The Rays have jumped on them tonight.
Yep. Jabba Chamberlain started that game. Royals came back and got 2 late in the game to beat them.
Fly ball lifted toward left center. Cabrera is there, and the Rays are out in the 4th. No runs with a hit and a man left. At the end of 4, it's 10-1 Tampa Bay. Subway, play hard, eat fresh. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. From Tropicana Field, sold out tonight, the Rays home opener. They lead 10-1 over the Yankees. Robinson Cano takes the first pitch from Scott Kazmir for a strike. Kazmir just a little over 50 pitches through the first 4 innings. And throws another strike to Cano.
Good alignment with the feet. You know, we were talking in the break about that. You had mentioned that last inning about him, Scott, in the round about the leg movement. Explain that again, what you were talking about, and I'm going to take through it as well.
A little ground ball that's going to go through off an 0-2 pitch, and Cano has a base hit. Here's the answer to the Aflac trivia question. Aflac asked about it at work. Aflac! Most home runs hit by the Rays in a home opener. They've hit a couple tonight. Aflac! Including a grand slam by Carlos Peña. They hit 4 in the 2007 opener against the Blue Jays. Bartlett has one tonight, and Peña has the grand slam. Big cut by Matsui. Strike 1. Kazmir at times found himself in a situation where, as opposed to lifting that leg, he got to swinging it, and with that there was more side-to-side motion in him. There's a ball that bounces away from Navarro and allows Cano to reach. Wild pitch.
I know exactly what you're talking about. More rotational, more of a swivel type action, almost like a door opening up. And when you're doing that, you're going away from your target with your lead leg, as opposed to leading with the hips and the lower half of your body. And then when you land with the front leg, you're directional, just like Joe Madden was talking about, right toward your target. And that's what I've noticed in the 2 starts with Scott, especially when he's in the windup. But he'll check his feet if one ball gets away from him, and he's able to correct it the next pitch, and that's really a good sign. That's going to make his pitch efficiency much better and his ability to throw strikes much better.
Ground ball to the right side. Peña tosses to Kazmir. One away, and over to third goes Cano.
And watch his feet right here. I mean, watch the lower half of that. That's just watch the front foot land. Good bent front leg. Yeah, after the pitch, all pitchers spin and fall off a little bit. But when you land and when he finishes, and his initial finish after release, he's going right toward his target. And that's excellent. And I tell you, the best lefty, maybe the best pitcher I've ever seen was Sandy Koufax. And Sandy would teach that. Lead with the hips, the lower half of the body.
Pitch to Ransom down and in. And there's less wear and tear because if you're swiveling, in his case, as a lefty, swiveling to the right there, you're going to put more wear and tear on your arm, your shoulder.
No doubt. You open up the front side too soon, your arm drops, you get tired, you're pushing the ball, puts more strain on the elbow. See him kind of bend down and check. I mean, he's checking where he's at. Let's see if he makes the adjustment like he's been doing his first two starts on this 2-0 count.
Up a little bit with that one. It misses. 3-0. Couple of strikeouts tonight. He came in the first 2 innings. He's given up a run, 4 hits. It was behind the number 8 hitter, Cody Ransom.
That's a strike. He just powered that one in there too. Nice delivery on that. Go back out there, maybe outside corner again. Do it again.
Ransom late on that one. 3-2. Jim Hickey, the Rays pitching coach. With Davey Martinez. The side of Joe Madden. Strike 3 call.
Oh man.
How about that?
3-0 count. Powers 2 fastballs in the outside corner at 92, and watch his changeup. Nice, great arm speed, 78 miles an hour. Take a look. Center field shot right there. Belt high, but it was the speed that fooled Ransom, and it paralyzed him. Froze up on it. Couldn't pull the trigger.
Melky Cabrera looks at a fastball. Strike call.
That's what I'm talking about. He goes 3-0, and now he throws 4 strikes in a row. He's able to come back and make an adjustment and catch himself.
Line drive and a base hit into center field off the fastball. That's going to score Cano, and it's 10-2. Cabrera has his second hit. It's 2 of the 5 hits given up by Kazmir. Edouard Ramirez begins to loosen in the bullpen. Jeter, a couple of ground balls tonight. He takes a strike.
Off speed again. Start Derek off. Derek 0 for 2 tonight, and now 4 for 30. Lifetime off Scott Kazmir.
One and one. Jeter hit 300 last year. The Yankee shortstop will be 35 in June. Thirteen opening days at shortstop for the Yankees with Jeter now. 2-1.
Yeah, time has flown, hasn't it? It's hard to believe he's in his mid-30s.
Yep.
Remember when he first came up.
Our Toyota Trends will track those numbers in the Kazmir Jeter matchup through the years. One home run in that mix of 4 hits. So Kazmir's been the toughest guy for him.
Well, you know. And I saw Danny Baez on there too. And the way Baez threw the other night, I could understand. That's as good as I've seen Baez throw in years. But you know, there are some pitchers you just don't see the ball well enough, and you know they fool you. The stuff that Scott Kazmir has ace stuff. Obviously, we know that. And you combine that, if you don't pick the ball up off him, no matter how good Derek Jeter is, I mean, he can go to the Hall of Fame someday. There's some guys you just don't see one.
Swing and a miss. He strikes him out. Couple of strikeouts in the inning, including that one of Jeter. We go to the bottom of the 5th, and it's 10-2 Tampa Bay.
A 10-2 lead for the defending American League champions over the New York Yankees in their home opener here on Sun Sports. Whit Watson back with you. A busy night for us in many ways. The home opener on Sun Sports also working on not one but 2 upcoming episodes of Inside the Rays, one of which debuts on Friday night, as a matter of fact. Inside the Rays, the breakthrough season. Blow by blow, how the Rays turned things around in 2008. We've been going behind the scenes here at the Tropicana Field, both for that show and for an upcoming Inside the Rays on Evan Longoria. So, Dwayne, I hope that serves as my note from Mom as to where we've been for the last 4.5 innings or so. But good to be back here with you this season.
It's great to have you back, and we're looking forward to your increased participation in the telecast this year. And we had no doubt that you were working hard. There's absolutely no question about that.
Absolutely. There's the lineup card.
Pitch outside to Aki.
Good balance in that lineup card.
That's right, yeah. You got a little lefty-righty combination.
Sure. Nice lefty combination, righty right here, 8 and 9.
And Aki draws the walk. So that's going to lead off the Rays half of the 5th inning. They're available from the right side.
There you go.
And those other guys available from the left side.
Very nice.
He's got a different lineup card, and thank goodness for it.
Yeah, there's a lot of red on that lineup card. I think it's crossed out a lot of things right there. Joe's looking at tendency. He's got another pitcher up in the bullpen too.
Breaking ball over to Jason Bartlett for a strike.
This young man has about 57 pitches now under his belt. So Veras has been up for the second time.
It's down, I think, what did we have? 61 pitches from Chien-Ming Wang, and that technically was 1 inning plus 4 hitters in the second. So it's a 1 inning plus outing. 61 pitches for Chien-Ming Wang tonight. Bartlett fouls it. Jason's 2 for 2, including his second home run. That came in the third. He jumped on the first pitch and hit it out in the second inning off Alvaladeo.
Yeah, Bartlett hitting 440 now with a 2 for 2 night. Single, stolen base, home run, RBI.
Wrapped up the road trip with a home run and opens the homestand with a homer. There's a soft little looping liner that's going to be a base hit. Jeter got to it on 1 hop. Jason Bartlett is 3 for 3 tonight.
And that's all for Joe Girardi. He's seen enough. Don't want to tax his young pitcher too much.
The Rays have put 2 men on here in the 5th inning. Girardi's going to make a pitching change. Third pitcher of the night for the Yankees coming on. We'll be back in a moment. On Sun Sports is brought to you by Dodge. Grab life by the horns. And by Chili's. Pepper in some flavor.
Oh, this is actually Ramirez. I mentioned Veras. It's Ramirez that's been up.
Yeah, we had
Edward.
One step deeper into the Yankee bullpen. This time Edward Ramirez inherits a couple of base runners. He'll face B.J. Upton. Rocky at second and Jason Bartlett at first. Ramirez had a little shoulder bursitis this spring that slowed him. This pitch is down and away. 1 ball, no strikes. He's out of the Dominican Republic. A little over a year of big league time cumulative. 1-1. Originally in the Angels organization. That would have been back in 02 and 03. They released him and he spent some time in independent league baseball. A 1-2 count. The Yankees signed him in 06. Pitched with their Class A team in Tampa. Two and two, and then got to the big leagues with the Yankees in 07 for 21 games. Last year made 55 appearances. He's 5-1 with a 390 earned run average. BJ is out on strikes. It's the first out here in the fifth. The Corona Beach Bar hosts 75 or more people in an exclusive setting during Rays baseball. Reserve the Corona Beach Bar, calling 727-825-3406 or email group sales at raysbaseball.com.
That pitch we just saw to Upton, that was an excellent changeup. That's what I remember this guy having, young man having when he was with the Angel organization. Excellent changeup. That's what he got DJ on. There it is again.
And it's a 1-1 count. Burrell with 2 runs scored and a stolen base tonight. Sound of play. It's in behind 1-2.
You know, a lot of people thought that Jabba Chamberlain really should be in the bullpen for the Yankees. Bruni's convinced and gets upset that people say, you know, they need him and Jabba instead of Bruni to set up Mariano Rivera. But you after seeing Chen Ming Wong tonight,
yeah,
maybe Joe already knows something. High fastball right there.
Crawford's out on strike, so a couple of strikeouts here posted by the right-hander Ramirez.
You know, people are talking about Jabba. I mean, he's a 5th starter. Really, you got 4 solid starters, and that's assuming Andy Pettit stays healthy and can perform and do his normal thing. But so far, the pitching for the Yankees hasn't been what was advertised.
Pitch is down. Well, experience will tell you that experience will also sometimes present a problem because of the injury situation. You know, let's just face it, the older you are and the more pitches you've thrown, the greater likelihood of injury. It's just a wear and tear factor, and experience tells you that's the case, so we'll see.
Well, you know, CeCe got all the money in the big contract, and his opening day start was not a good one. He came back better in his second start, but you know, Andy Pettit took a long time for him to sign. I mean, he had to take a pay cut to come back from there.
1-2 the count to Longoria.
And A.J. Burnett's got great stuff, and he did have a great year last year with the Blue Jays in his free agent year, but he's had a history of arm problems. I mean, you don't play the game on paper. You got to go out between the lines. So that's why I like what Joe Madden said. I don't worry about what the Yankees did at all. We don't think about them. We worry about ourselves.
Yep.
That's exactly right.
And he has challenged this club as well as it played a year ago. He's challenged them to continue to improve and get better. Just because they won the pennant doesn't mean that there's not room for improvement. And in a positive way, he reinforced that idea. The liner into left. Damon will play it on one hop. Here comes Aki to the plate. He will score. The Rays pick up their 11th run. That's charged to Alvaladeo. Longoria drives in the run.
That was a wrist shot again that you and I were talking about last night on the plane here. Watch it from the side right here, Longoria. Miss ball's down. Watch the wrist right here. Just boom. And a nice little finish right there. Goes down, reaches out and gets it. And at the last instant, he's got the little flip of the wrist, and he gets that ball into left field.
So it's an 11-2 game. Rays have 11 runs and 12 hits. Hockey, who opened with a walk, has scored the run in this inning. Now Peña waves and misses and loses the bat. Strike one.
Let's see. Home run last at bat yesterday. Double, home run, double. So
yeah, it's a pretty good trend.
Figure it out.
A little tough to keep it up, but
it's tough.
That's charting pretty healthy.
Cano might as well be playing right field with Xavier Nady as far back as he is at second base.
That's a strike. And our Chuckers double of the night. Carlos with a 2-base hit back in the first. That opened the scoring for the Rays. They went on to score 4 in the first, 5 in the second, 1 more in the third, and they've added 1 in the 5th inning. They hold an 11-2 lead.
You know, just to make another point on the pitching, you know, the Rays pitching 1 through 5 can match up with anybody, and especially when David Price gets up here, and he will at some point. But you know, it doesn't really matter what the Yankees went out and spent. I mean, yeah, those guys are had super years, and you know, obviously CeCe Sabathia's a great talent, but the way Matt Garza threw last week and what we saw last year in the postseason, match up with anybody. Scott Kazmir, same thing. Shields speaks for itself. I mean, he's just, with his control and the great stuff he showed yesterday, telling me those first 3, and then Andy Sonnenstein, you don't forget about him. And then if Neiman can hold it, great. Hopefully he can. But if not, and you got David Price in the wings, I mean, you can't tell me you're going to find 6 better arms in that in Major League Baseball. So it doesn't really matter. I mean, Joe Maddon's right. It doesn't matter what the Yankees did or Boston did. They went out and got some aging veteran guys in their bullpen and in the rotation. Got a young staff here.
Low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And a great matchup tomorrow night. Another sellout. We'll be with you on Sun Sports tomorrow. Matt Garza and A.J. Burnett. There are tickets still available for the Wednesday game, and that's going to be a 4:08 first pitch. Andy Sonnenstein against Andy Pettit. A lot of heat tomorrow with Burnett and Garza squaring off tomorrow night. Peña chases that one and is out on strikes to retire the side. Rays tack on a run. We're through 5. 11-2 Tampa Bay. Jumped out to a 4-run first. They have built an 11-2 lead as we head into the 6th. It's a great start to this homestand, home opener tonight. Rays went 3-3 on the season opening road trip. Johnny Damon takes a strike from Scott Kazmir. Scott just over 70 pitches through the front 5. 1-1. Damon, then Swisher and Posada do up. Ball, 2 strikes.
He's getting the ball, getting right on the mound, and he's ready to go. I mean, that keeps the defense alert too, and the fact that he's throwing strikes, I mean, that keeps the pace of the game going.
Big liner into center, and it hangs up for B.J. Upton to make the catch. And boy, he's been very good tonight. Our Jaguar performer of the game, and that would be B.J. Upton in the leadoff spot. He drew that walk and immediately stole second and third. So Kevin, he's doing everything a leadoff man should do and everything a center fielder should do as well.
Yeah, I mean that.
Check out the new R Performance vehicles at your local Jaguar dealer or on JaguarUSA.com.
And my favorite car, you know. I'll say that more than a dozen times.
Well, you're stylish.
I'm a Jaguar guy. Yep. Yeah, I mean, BJ's just. Wow, you know, I had never seen him in person until last year in the playoffs and World Series, and you know when he was able to steal bases in the rain in Philadelphia and get the game tied. I don't know how he did that, and then score on a muddy, wet field and be able to turn third. He flows. I mean, he's just so fluid, and his speed doesn't look like he's running hard, but he's burning. That catch in center field, I still go back to that. That
was
wow,
something special.
Yeah. We're going to see that all night on the highlights.
Yes, we will.
Around the country.
2-1, and that's lifted to deep left. Crawford back in front of the wall. He'll leap, and he got it. Carl Crawford timing his leap perfectly. Went right back to the wall and made the grab. And hats off to Crawford on that catch.
And that's exactly what Nick Swisher was saying. Carl stayed with that all the way. High fastball. Nick Swisher thinks he got it. Crawford locked in, never takes his eye off it. Does his leap at the right time and took one away from Nick.
Credit where credit's due.
That's right.
2 outs now in the 6th. Some great outfield work by first Upton and now Crawford. Foul ball, strike 2 to Jorge Posada.
Well, that's the other thing that I know we've talked about a lot this week, but the defense. Carl Crawford has played in the outfield his first week. It's been very impressive. BJ, we've just talked about. Longoria, Gold Glover. Peña, Gold Glover. Bartlett, solid. Uemura can turn as well as anybody. There really aren't any holes defensively out there.
Madness dangle that Gold Glove challenge out there to more than just Peña. He thinks there are more Gold Gloves in this defensive alignment.
Well, and that helps the pitching staff. I mean, that's what I was talking about earlier. When B.J. Upton made that catch in center, I think that pumped Scott Kazmir up. Even though he had a 4-run lead, that pumps you up. And Scott's kind of taking him the rest of the way here, putting up zeros and working fast. Now they've scored a couple of runs, so what? And he's into the 6th inning with good rhythm right now and a 9-run lead.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
You see guys busting their tails behind you, diving for balls, making plays like that. I tell you, as a pitcher, that really gets you pumped up to want to do the job for them and throw strikes.
Count still 1-2. Yankees in tomorrow night, Wednesday at 4 o'clock, and then the White Sox are in. White Sox have won their game. The right side foul. White Sox beat the Tigers in Detroit 10-6. So the White Sox are now 4-3, and the Tigers are 4-4 over in the Central Division. One-two again to Posada. Posada fouls it back.
Yeah, that was a put away fastball right there. That was a good fastball. 95, at least that's what the gun says. That's the best fastball clock of the night for Scott. And he wanted to finish Posada off right there, but Jorge got a piece of it. Well, that sets up the changeup where he can double up on it.
It's away. Fastball out there, 2-2. Kazmir worked 6 innings against the Red Sox. Gave up a run, 5 hits en route to the victory. Posada is running up the pitch count a little bit here in the 6th.
Scott's going to take a little breather here. He's working hard. He's working at a good rhythm. So he just wants to take a little deep breath right there.
Well, he got 2 fairly quick outs, and now he's had to throw 10 pitches to Posada.
Yeah, he's had to work on this. Now he wants to make a good pitch. He wants to make it happen right here.
Swing and a miss. He got him. I'll tell you, he had a little bite to that one. Down and out. 1, 2, 3 go the Yankees. Bottom of the 6th coming 11-2. For the Coors Light freeze cam, and for that we'll go back to that great catch by B.J. Upton on the ball hit by Xavier Nady in the 2nd inning. He just loped back there and made this look easy, and that's a very difficult play. That's the Frost Brewed Coors Light freeze cam.
Yeah, he's had a really nice opening night here for his first game of the season in the big leagues. And he got everything going with that leadoff walk and stole a couple bases, and that set the tone for the game.
Pat Burrell leads it off for the Rays in the home half of the 6th. The pitch is high. Pat doubled in a run and scored a run in the 1st, 1 for 3. Strike on the outside corner.
Yeah, I like that. Pat's had some good at bats too. He'll make you work. Some really good at bats.
2-1. Edouard Ramirez, the New York pitcher, scored 8 runs off the starter Shin-Ming Wong and added 3 off Jonathan Albaladeo. 3-1 now to Pat. There's a shot high and deep to left. Gone. Pat Burrell hits his first Rays home run. Came on a 3-1 pitch. The Rays pick up their 12th run on Pat Burrell's long blast to left.
Oh, that sounded good. 3-1. Got a cookie up in the zone. But he was patient. He spit on the off-speed stuff, left it away, left it alone. Let's take a look at the pitch. Missed middle in. Posada was looking for something down and away, and Ramirez just left it up and about not quite chest high, a little bit between the chest and the belt. Well, he squared that up.
Gianna Navarro takes a pitch away. 1 ball, no strikes.
I really think, like we talked about at the beginning of the game, Pat's 2 at-bats, and we talked about this yesterday.
Navarro is going to be out. Pitcher first, 1 away.
Those last 2 at-bats plus the walk, the 3 at-bats, got him going leading into the homestand here. And Pat's had really had 4 good at-bats. Even the pop-up that he fouled out in the 4th inning, I mean, he was right on that. This one, he didn't miss. He didn't do a lot of that this year. What they got him for.
Well, he's averaged over 30 homers and just a tad under 100 RBIs a year for the last 4 years or so. Gabe Gross waves and misses, and it's really that signing and his presence that allows this lineup to fall in and flow the way it can, with Upton leading off.
Yeah, it's a really tough, well-balanced lineup, and what a difference it with BJ not having to hit in the middle or 5th, and he can lead off. You know, and then you get BJ for you turn the lineup over at the bottom. Even Mira and Bartlett are tough. Yeah, you got your RBI guy at the top of the order.
Yeah, exactly.
In Upton,
he's going to score some runs. He's going to drive some runs. I'll tell you, he's as we discussed on the pregame, there's some very good things can happen with him in the leadoff spot. That's an exciting move for this lineup. Going to be fouled, out of play.
I think the thing too, I said this last winter, I thought Pat Burrell, and we talked to him a little bit the other night in the hotel, I thought he signed at the right time because he read the market. He read the market, and yeah, he's not making what he did in Philadelphia. He's making a ton of money, but signing with a team, he knew what this team was about. I mean, he's had a place in this area. It still has a place in this area. I mean, and being a DH, I think at this point of his career is really good for him, not having to be out in left field. And he can just lock in and do his thing with the bat.
And he was an instant fit in the clubhouse this spring. An instant fit. I mean, he's really good for. He just fit right in, and he's an accomplished hitter.
He read the market well too. I mean, look at the guys that are out there. Some guys still don't have jobs. And Pat signed early, and some of the guys that did, I think they really read the whole economy, the team, the place he wanted to be. Smart move on both sides, obviously, for Andrew Friedman and the Rays.
There's a line drive and a base hit into right field for Gross. Gabe picks up his second hit. The Rays now have 14 hits tonight.
Yeah, Joe Madden won't be running now. with a big lead like this late in the game. He's not going to rub it in now or take any chances. Anybody getting hit, getting hurt.
He takes a cut and misses. Strike one. Foul out of play. Nothing in two.
In essence, you can say you've got 3 leadoff hitters in a row here with Uemura and Bartlett and then Upton. But Upton being the guy that can really put a charge in the ball too. So that's why this really important lineup to have BJ at the top. Uemura and Bartlett 8 and 9. And you also, you got left, right, right. You can mix it up any way you want. I mean, you get really good balance, really well balanced lineup.
One and two, the count to Aki. The Rays had 11 runs and 17 hits yesterday in Baltimore, and they've just carried that right over into the home opener tonight with 12 runs and 14 hits. Little number, is that going to stay fair? The way this infield is patterned, it's got a chance, and it will. A fair ball. You know, the Rays with that speed and the idea that they can lay the ball down once in a while. That ball's going to hug that line, and it did for Aki.
Well, that's why when B.J. Upton laid his bunt down in the second inning, Shen-Ming Wong knew that. He picked the ball up. It was very similar, although this one just stayed on that pad all the way. Never did hit the turf or the grass. You know, when you got a speed team, I mean, you got to manufacture your field to your liking, not the opposition.
So Aki has himself a hit. Jason Bartlett takes the pitch for a strike. Bartlett lifts it into left. Damon closes and makes the grab for the second out.
Oh, he's hit the ball hard 3 times tonight. Actually, the little base hit he got last inning wasn't hit hard, but he's seen the ball well. 3 for 4. It's kind of a makeup right there. He got the little blooper that Jeter fielded in left field for a base hit, and then he gets one taken away with the line drive. But I think he'd take that night. 3 for 4, the home run, stolen base, 2 runs scored.
Now BJ, 2 men on, 2 men out. Low and away. Upton with a couple of runs scored. He started the Rays offense tonight with a walk. Ball, 1 strike. 8 runs off Wong, 3 runs off Alvadejo, and a run here in the 6th off Ramirez. Willie Ibar has the bat on deck. 2-1 now.
I think you probably see a couple of moves by Joe Madden after this inning. If Ibar gets up. Yeah. If Ibar gets up. You may see it anyway.
3-1. Phil Coke, the left-hander, throwing in the bullpen, and there's ball 4. Second walk drawn by BJ tonight. He's on for the 3rd time. So BJ takes over at first. Hockey moves to second. Gross moves up to 3rd. Bases are loaded. Don't miss a minute of action with Rays season tickets. You can save up to 35%. Get great benefits and the best seats at Tropicana Field. Use them at the office for clients, or spend more time at the ballpark with the kids. Call 888-FAN-RAYS. Yankee pitching coach Dave Island made a little trip out there. Willie Ibar will get a chance to swing the bat. He'll hit in the place of Carl Crawford. This one bounces in. 1 ball, no strikes.
And you know, if Joe brings Kapler into play for Iwamura, you could have Ibar go to second, and then Kapler would be assured of getting an at bat in this game. Reagan's probably catch tomorrow. You're not going to use your second catcher.
Ibar misses. It's 1-1.
I think you probably want to save Zobrist because he can play everywhere. So I would think that's Joe's going to make a couple of moves here. There's Kapler swinging the bat.
Strike to Willie. 1-2.
If you could take Longoria out too and have Ibar get some third base action.
Down the other way, and it's out of play. Holding the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Evan has been red hot. He's picked up a couple more runs batted in tonight. He has 12 on the year, 5 home runs for the young season.
Yeah, that's what Joe's going to do. Longoria's played, I think he's played every inning of every game, and so did Carl Crawford, I believe. So those 2 guys, your 2 and 3 hitters, will get a break the last few innings. Iwamura has come out of 1 game. And Ibar got some time at second. And it also gets Ibar, an inning at third base. He played some first and third.
Into the dirt, and it skips away. And Gross will not come down the line. And he was a little hesitant there. As it turns out, it skipped far enough to give him a chance to score, but he was just a beat late.
Yeah, get a little smirk right there. Didn't. Yeah, he said he thought better of it. 10-run lead. No sense forcing the issue here.
Well, the count is full to Ibar. Into left. Damon over to his right toward the line, makes the catch. So the Rays leave them loaded, but they add a run. It came on the home run by Pat Burrell, his first in a Rays uniform. We're through 6, and the Rays lead 12-2. Xavier Nady leads off the 7th for New York against the Rays lefty Scott Kazmir. That's fair, past the bag and up the left field line by Ibar. Gabe Kapler will have to dig it out. Nady has a double. Ibar is now at third, and Kapler has moved in to play left. And Nady has his first hit.
And the bullpen's up for the Rays, and Scott's done so well tonight. There's Cormier up right now. Kazmir is 91 pitches, 63 strikes. He's done his job tonight. He'd like to get one more out of him, but I don't think he had 111 pitches in his last start, and I don't think Joe Madden wants him to go much past 100 tonight.
Robinson Cano, and the pitch is too low.
And he had to work hard in that last inning to get that final out to Jorge Posada. There's a phone call made to Bobby Ramos to see if Cormier's ready.
2-0. Matt Garza tomorrow night against A.J. Burnett, Andy Sonnenstein, and Andy Pettit on Wednesday. Two and one. Foul. 2-2.
Scott Kazmir. He's done tonight. Good changeup for a strikeout there. Another one right there at Posada. Power of the zone. Another one on Jeter. Changeup's been outstanding tonight, but it's all been set up by his good fastball and good location and command. I mean, he's had good command tonight. Out in the zone.
5 strikeouts. Hasn't walked anybody. 2-2 with Robinson Cano, and strikes him out. Cano is out on strikes. So that's 6 on the night.
With no walks. That's the key. That's really important, really impressive, because he's been pounding the zone. And even when he has gotten behind just a couple of times, he's been able to come back and make the adjustments. So that's a really good sign for Scott for now, for his confidence and being able to repeat a delivery for the future.
Matsui takes a pitch in.
A flinch. He took a flinch.
Yes.
Pretty good pitch. Tony Randazzo says, oh, pull the right arm up, Tony. He was there. You guessed right the first time.
One and one. Kazmir moving in on 100 pitches. Two and one.
Matsui's one of those guys that works the count pretty well too, which the Yankees as a whole done a pretty good job of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Third in American League last year at on base percentage, 342 as a club.
Another little tap down to first, this time unassisted. 3 ground balls to first base out of Matsui tonight. 2 outs. Nady advances to third.
It's the right move right here. We talked about 100 pitches as a limit, and that's just about where he's at. You got the final 2 lefties, Cano and Matsui, and Cormier comes in.
So a good hand for Scott Kazmir here as he departs. He pitched well for the second straight time. He's done his part here in the home opener. The Rays have gone yard a couple times tonight. 3 times to be exact. Scott Kazmir goes 6 2/3. Gives way to Lance Cormier. His pitch to Cody Ransom is in there for a strike. We had Kazmir at 100 pitches right on the button. He leaves with a man at third, 2 gone. Cormier's breaking ball is too low. The count is 1-1.
And really impressive for Scott with the strikes. 68 strikes, 100 pitches. That's 68% of the time, of course, and that's excellent.
1-2.
Major league average is about 62, 63% of the time for strikes. That's well above average. And that's really impressive for Scott, and being able to repeat his delivery and the pitch efficiency that Jim Hickey and Joe Madden have been looking for. That's a good sign also.
And I'll tell you, he's shown some of that against the Red Sox and the Yankees. Those are very good signs.
Yeah, he had that good look from the first inning on. I mean, he was locked in. You know, we kind of had some fun in the pregame. You know, how's he going to prepare? He's going to want to see the banner going up and all that. And, you know, my feeling was, hey, you take a peek, but you want to make sure you put a 0 up there to first inning and beat the Yankees, and you'll have plenty of time to look at the banner. And he was completely focused. And Jim Hickey and Scott Kazmir together in preparation did a good job of him.
Line drive. That's going to be a base hit into center field. He scored 80. The run scores. Ransom picks up his second hit of the year and his second run batted in. It's 12-3. It's going to complete the line on Scott Kazmir. 6 2/3. 3 runs, 6 hits. 6 strikeouts, and he didn't walk anybody. The ball to Cabrera. Well, Cabrera 2 for 2 with the RBI single, and a bouncing ball grabbed there by Peña. Then pass to Cormier, nicely done to retire the side. Around a couple hits and a man left. 7th inning stretch time, and the Rays lead 12-3. Tobacco Free Florida game summary. Banners going up in pregame ceremonies. Scott Kazmir here on the home opener. Took over 6 2/3. Gave up 3 runs. Struck out 6. Didn't walk anybody. Got the grand slam support from Carlos Peña. Another home run tonight from Jason Bartlett, and a blast from Pat Burrell as well in the 6th inning. The Rays have 12 runs, 15 hits, and lead 12-3 on our Tobacco Free Florida game summary. Banner day for the Rays, exactly right. Bill Koch is going to be the new pitcher for the New York Yankees. The Rays saw some of him last year when he featured a pretty good breaking ball. He lost yesterday's game in Kansas City. Gave up a couple runs on 3 hits in a third of an inning. He'll face Gabe Kapler, who's hitting out of Longoria's spot. Peña and Burrell are due to hit.
Yeah, Bill Koch was a 26th round draft pick in 2002 by the Yankees. He's pitching at 26 years old. He'll be 27 in the middle of July. And he did. He had 14 2/3 innings last year with the Yankees. Struck out 14 and only walked 2. And had a 0.61 earned run average in 12 games that he did pitch in the big leagues. So he's a kid that's come up through the system, and Joe Girardi gave him a chance to be one of his lefties in that bullpen, along with the veteran Damaso Marte. Every manager wants 2 lefties in that bullpen, I tell you that.
Well, here's Kapler facing him, and he fouls that first pitch fastball back, strike 1. Rays jumped to an early lead, made it 10-0 at one point. It's 12-3 right now. 1-1.
You know, when you're facing a team like the Rays, too, if you're the Yankees, you better have a couple of lefties in your bullpen, because the lineup is so deep and there's such a balance.
Pitch is popped up near the mound. And finally, Swisher came in and made the catch. It appeared for a moment that Koch might have to take care of those duties, but Swisher got there in time. 1 away. Carlos is 3 for 4 tonight. 3 extra base hits, including the grand slam home run. Facing the lefty, and he takes it for a ball. 6 career grand slams for Peña. Fouls it back. 1-1. 6 runs batted in tonight. And again, his career mark of runs batted in a single game, 7. He's done that twice.
Bad little breaking ball. You're right. Pretty good arm. 91, 92. 94 right there.
How about that one? Yeah. A little wide. 3-1.
Well, that's the interesting thing about the draft. This kid was a 26th rounder. I mean, it's great to be the number 1s and all that, but you can get some finds there in the late rounds.
Shoots it just foul. The count goes to 3 balls, 2 strikes. game 2 of the series tomorrow, and the Rays players will receive their championship rings.
Swing right there by Carlos Peña to stay on that 94 fastball at the knees.
So another 3-2 pitch to be made to Carlos Peña. And it's in on him, and he pops it up. Will be caught by Cano in short right center field. 2 outs here. In the 7th, let's check in with Whit.
All right, Dwayne, thanks very much. While we have a moment, we'll tell you a little bit about tomorrow night's pregame show on Sun Sports as the Yankees play game 2 of this set against the Rays. We'll take a look at the RBI program, which brings baseball into the inner cities. Fascinating initiative there that started in Los Angeles a few years ago. Also, the ring ceremony comes up on Tuesday night as the American League champions receive their rings before Garza and Burnett go head-to-head. That's our Rays Live pregame tomorrow, and it's right here on Sun Sports. Dwayne.
All right, here's Pat Burrell taking a pitch high, and the fans will receive the replica rings as they enter the ballpark, and there's a look at it. It is very nice. We'll be glad that you're part of the sellout crowd tomorrow. Receive that replica ring.
Yeah, it's a beauty, and it's got some weight to it. I mean, it's a pretty good giveaway right there.
2-1 the count to Burrell. Pat's doubled and homered in this game. Three balls and a strike. Rays out to even their home opening record. This is their 12th home opener. They've gone 5-6. And the prior 11 openers at home. Pat walks. So in this outburst, this offensive outburst, the Rays, who were so good at home last year, showing signs of doing that this year in the first game at home. They were 57-24 at home last year, and if you go back about 30 years, they'd be among the top 5 home records in that span. 1-0 to Navarro as Deonner bats from the right side, his natural side, here against the lefty Phil Koch.
Yeah, I like the noise. I mean, I like when the crowd had their little chant there an inning ago about the Yankees. But I mean, they're into it. I mean, that's you got to have the home field advantage, and the fans are a big part of that. I'd like to see more sellouts. Got one tomorrow night. We'll sell out again.
2-0.
Pretty apparent too. You know, we were in spring training together there in Port Charlotte. I mean, you're going to draw some fan base from there. I mean, that averaging 7,000, 8,000, 8,500 people in spring training. That's pretty impressive. The new complex across the state.
Well, it's important for this team to do that, and they have great appeal. It really is a regional effort. And last year they really caught the imagination, I think, of fans more than just in this region. There were fans around the country who became enamored by following the development of this team and the way they played. 3-1 is popped up on the infield. And that ball is dropped. Everybody's going to be safe. Over to third goes Burrell, and into second Navarro. Cano wanted to come in and take that one, and as it turns out, he created a little havoc, I think, on the infield. And so the Rays have men at second and third. This inning will continue. Romero Peña was all set to make the catch, and he found Cano on his back.
Well, you could see Peña yelling and waving his arms, and Cano didn't hear him apparently and didn't see him wave his arms, and the ball drifted back toward him. But again, that goes back to what I was saying. The crowd noise, the crowd getting into it. You can't hear voice sometimes, and that's when you go to the ballparks that take advantage of the fans and all that, and they get into it. It makes it very tough for the opposition, and I like that. That's when you have a sellout. I mean, that noise is magnified.
So second and third.
Cowbells don't hurt either.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Pitch is outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Hey, there's an authentic cowbell right there.
We hear you. That's what we're talking about. But Peña did what he's supposed to do. He waved his arms and yelled, "I got it, I got it, I got it."
Yeah, and it was Cano who created the havoc there. 1-1 the count on Gross.
Not a pretty night for Joe Girardi. I'm sure this is, you lose that game in Kansas City in the late innings, and then you fly into the Tampa Bay area, and you say, okay, we got Chen-Ming Wang. He can't be as bad as the first outing, and he can't get you past the first inning. I mean, an inning plus to start a 3-game series with the best team in the American League last year. So what that's done, it's made the Yankees use 4 pitchers tonight.
2 and 2, and you love that in the first game of a series to get into the opponent's bullpen early.
Well, even the at-bats of this kid Cope right here, I mean, he's got a good arm, and late in the game you use him up today, make him throw a lot of pitches.
Well, he pitched yesterday, now he's going to pitch
right.
today.
You mentioned that's right. And so you kind of eliminate him for tomorrow almost. Now you got one guy, DeMaso Marte, from the left side in the late innings. I mean, you like the 2 lefties. All managers do. I always felt that way. Because you want that first lefty up in the middle of the game if you have to make the manager make a decision. And if he unloads his bench, then it plays right into your right-handed bullpen. But if you got that second lefty, it makes it tougher. You unload the bench on you early.
Ball 3 low and a full count to Gross. This has turned out to be a relatively high pitch inning for Cope. 26 pitches.
Yeah, but you see Joe's luck. He's not happy with that. 26 pitches, only 12 strikes.
And there's ball 4. And by my count, that's 7 walks issued by New York pitching tonight, and the Rays have the bases loaded. 2 walks and an error in between. They're loaded for Akinori Iwamura against the lefty.
Well, on a normal night, you average about 15 pitches an inning through 9. You could do the math on that. You're looking at anywhere from 8 innings to 9 innings, 120 to 135 pitches. They're on their 200th pitch right now, the Yankees. 200 pitches. Chen-Ming Wang, 61, only 34 for strikes.
And that was the 1 inning plus.
1 inning plus. Albaladejo, 60 pitches, 34 strikes. Ramirez, 51 pitches, 31 for strikes. And Cope's pushing up to 30 right now.
Too high to Aki. 1-1. All 2 strikes. 2 away. They're loaded, and the 2-2 pitch. Aki shoots it toward the gap into left center field. That's going to be in there. Extra bases. 1 run is in. Navarro scores. Gross scores. And Aki goes to second with a double, chasing in 3 more.
Boy, Aki can really hit that gap in left center field. And he did it once again. We've seen it all week. Saw it all last year. Breaking ball. Little slide to it across the plate. Little flat. Up in the zone. Belled high. Nakamori does what he does best. Shoots it in the seam in left center field. And you know what this is going to do? That error by Cano, or that ball that he ended up boxing because Peña called it. He's going to force Joe Girardi to have to use 1 more pitcher probably for the 8th inning. He can't let this kid out here get hurt. This Coke. I mean, he pitched last night. He's having a long inning now.
Vince Zobrist pinch hits for Bartlett. 1 ball, no strikes. So Aki drives in 3 with a double. It's 15-3 now.
Yeah, the bullpen's going to get up here in a second. I mean, they just. That's what
makes a pitch high.
That's what frustrates you doing as a manager. You know, you're taking your blowout, you take your hit, but somebody's got to put some zeros up there and throw some strikes. Because now you're going to blow the bullpen up for the whole series.
34 pitches here, and Coke's not through the inning. Zobrist takes it for a ball. 3-0. Rays with 15 runs and 16 hits now. Strike call. 3-1.
Joe just can't believe it. Like that little gift there.
Full count. Double for Iwamura, his 4th of the young season. Ground ball left side, grabbed by Ransom, and his throw to first is in time to retire the side. Rays scored 3 on a hit and error. 1 left through 7, 15-3 Tampa Bay. This, we head into the 8th inning. So it has been a very successful home opener for Joe Madden. And we have a great pitching matchup tomorrow, Garza and Burnett. There's been Zobrist. Zobrist taking over at shortstop. Lance Cormier. Cormier finished the 7th inning. Scott Kazmir worked 6 2/3. Peña took over at shortstop. Romero Peña. So he hits for the first time in this game. Jeter had gone 0 for 3. 2-0. Peña impressed the Yankees this spring. Angel Burrell was in their camp trying to win a job and did not, and Peña emerged as an extra infielder.
Yeah, Angel Peña, I thought might have a shot. Peña, they like the other. Peña, I mean, Burrell did a really nice job in Los Angeles last year when they acquired him from AAA.
Peña draws a walk here in the 8th. See Brett Gardner hit here in the 2nd spot, originally occupied by Johnny Damon.
Contrary to the Yankees walking 7, that's the first walk given up by Rays pitching.
And the first pitch strike to Gardner.
Kazmir was impressive walking Milton. 6 2/3 with 6 strikeouts. Cormier, that's his first walk.
1-1. Rays will be home on the stand through Sunday. The White Sox in Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon. There's some good baseball here on this homestand. The White Sox beat Detroit today 10-6. Jim Floyd got the win. White Sox hit, I think, 4 home runs in that game. Back to the mound. Cross back to second. Zobrist covering into first, safe there. Now Gardner, who can run, reaches 1 on 1 out now, and it's time for the stay in the game hold of the day, brought to you by Just for Men Hair Color. For fun, let's go back to the postseason and that matchup with the White Sox when Orlando Cabrera took exception to Grant Balfour. Balfour, talking with himself, came back and finished it off to get Cabrera just as Grant Balfour kept the Rays in that game against the White Sox. You too can stay in the game with Just for Men Hair Color.
I can't wait for his next appearance too, after having a little trouble yesterday in that inning of work he was trying to get. Because somebody's going to pay.
Yeah. Yes, you're right.
I see him closing someday. You know, may not be too far around the corner.
1-1 to count to Swisher. He can't wait to get out there again.
I'm telling you, he had to cut. People that don't know, he came in to get an inning of work in the 9th yesterday and couldn't find a strike zone. It was a huge Rays lead and ended up giving up 3 runs. And they had to go to J.P. Howell to get out of the inning in the 9th in Baltimore. You know, he got upset at himself, as he should. But he was still throwing 95. He just couldn't find the zone. But he needed the inning of work. That was an important inning because he only had 1 appearance in Boston. Hadn't pitched in, what, 5 days? Before that.
3-1.
So Joe Madden did what he needed to do. He got Dan Wheeler an inning of work. He got Balfour an inning of work yesterday. But granted, it didn't work out. But he's got that intensity. I think he'll be on his game next time he pitches.
Cormier gives up a walk, second in the inning. One out with men at first and second. Jorge Posada will bat. We're with you with the postgame. Rays live immediately following our contest. The Rays jumped to an early lead and continued to build it. It's 15-3. The Rays leading New York.
Baltimore's put up a 10 spot tonight, beating Texas 10-7. Got 15 hits of their own.
We were impressed by their lineup coming out of Baltimore. Posada lifts one into left center field, and that ball's going to be in there off the bottom of the wall. It's going to score Gardner. Swisher's digging for the plate on the Posada double, and the Yankees put a couple runs on the board here in the 8th inning. So Posada can swing that bat. Boy, and when he was healthy behind the plate, he was such a productive catcher, and he can still swing the bat.
Yeah, and Cormier just got a ball up and out over the plate, and Jorge went right with it. And look how far that ball went. It's at the bottom of the billboard sign out there, the base of the wall. I think almost carried out of the ballpark.
Xavier Nady takes one outside.
And Joe Madden going, let's see, I've got to get maybe another inning of work for somebody else.
Tap foul. And Cormier entered the game with 2 outs in the 7th. Giving up a couple hits. 2 runs now.
I mean, this might be a game where Percival actually should get an inning of work. You know, even though I know he's the closer right now, he's only pitched 1 inning so far this year, and you know, didn't exactly have an easy time. It might not be a bad night to get him an inning of work.
Gross to make the catch. 2 outs.
He's the only pitcher down there that's only pitched and had 1 appearance out of the bullpen.
Yeah, he pitched in the game Thursday in Boston.
So you're looking at Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I mean, normally you don't want your closer going that many days in a row without some work, because if the game's close tomorrow and Troy has to come in, I mean, he might not have his good touch and good command, good feel.
Fouls it. Strike 1.
Just a thought.
Yeah, well, it's
thinking out loud, because I think that's what we're here for.
Yeah, that's right. Sometimes we're just out loud.
Yeah, that too.
We're in the 8th right now, the Rays leading 15-5. Chopper charged by Hockey. That takes care of Cano and the Yankees, and we go to the Rays half of the 8th as they lead New York 15-5. Baseball on Sun Sports is brought to you by Heineken. Give yourself a good name. And by McDonald's. I'm loving it. Well, we move into the bottom half of the 8th inning. Hey, look at this. Who's going to the mound but Nick Swisher?
Well, it's not Canseco. I've seen that before.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to bring that up.
It's all right. I did it. I'm the one. Guilty.
So BJ faces Swisher here. 2-0 the count. And that's down.
Well, when I saw him out there warming up, I said, that can't be Marte. They're not going to use both lefters that they have in the bullpen in this game.
They strike, and it's 3-1, so he moves in from first base and takes over on the mound. And there the strike is 3-2.
Figured Joe would have to use another pitcher. Didn't know it would be Nick Swisher.
And he walks B.J. Upton. B.J.'s on for the 4th time tonight. 3rd walk. Well, the pitching matchup tomorrow, it's a good one. Matt Garza against A.J. Burnett. It's already a sellout. 2nd game of this series. Matt will be out to square his career record against New York. He's 1-2 lifetime against them. Here's Ibar. Willie takes a strike. Ground ball through the left side. A base hit for Ibar. Upton will stop at 2nd.
Hey, Ibar will take that.
Yes, he will.
He's not going to give that back.
It counts. Well, the Rays had 17 hits yesterday. They have 17 hits tonight. Well, when the Yankees added Swisher, I'm not sure they had this in mind for him.
I knew they thought he could play, you know, all over the place. More outfield, center field, first base. Didn't expect this. He's got the changeup going now.
2-0 now.
Nick's a really good guy, too. He's a good team.
2 balls and a strike. Lena has taken over behind the plate. Sada taking over at first for Swisher.
This is where, as a hitter, you're supposed to get a base hit or hit the ball hard, and if you don't, you go, geez.
Kepler fouls one. Kepler popped out to first in the 7th inning.
Sneaky right there. Dropping down on the righty. Got a little bit more on it. 281 on that one.
Well, with all the pitches the Yankees have seen their pitchers throw tonight, there's a wave and a miss, and Kepler strikes out. Decided to go to Swisher.
That's what I'm talking about. I mean, that's, as a hitter, you get frustrated. It's, you know, guy's throwing 75 miles an hour. You're supposed to get a hit, and you end up not only you'll hit it hard, you strike out on a bad pitch. So no win for the hitters, really.
Peña. That's the pitch wide. 1 ball and no strikes.
You know, if you get a hit, you're supposed to, and if you
that's right,
make it out, I mean, well, you're the dummy.
And a big league pop up again by Peña. Right side, and Cano is there to make the catch this time on the infield pop. So 2 outs in the 8th inning, with Pat Burrell walking to the plate.
I was looking at the Rays bullpen. Brian Schaus is up throwing. And there he is. So it looks like he's going to be coming in, and no Troy Percival in the 9th inning. You know, two ways to look at that too, because Troy comes in, you know, as a closer. It's not an intense situation, and a lot of times those guys get banged around. But the other side of that is that he hasn't pitched in so many days, and tomorrow, if it's a 3-2 game or 43 game, he comes in the game, you hope he has command.
To strike to Burrell, 2-1. It's a little bit of a catch-22 right
it really
there.
Is. Yeah, it is. It really is. And Joe Madden elects not to use that any else. Anaheim days and Troy Percival. And Pat Burrell gets one little sidearm cutter. Was that cutter? I'm not sure what Nick was.
He was trying to move his speed. He didn't want to.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. I think he's inventing pitches out there.
Coming back with a strike. 3-2. The Rays scored 8 off Long, 3 off Alvaladeo, 1 off Ramirez, and 3 off Coke. And a fly ball lifted toward left center. And it is caught out there by the center fielder Gardner to retire the side. So a scoreless inning for Swisher. We go to the 9th. It's 15-5 Rays. Rays pounding out 17 hits and scoring 15 runs. Brian Schaus is the new pitcher. Lance Cormier worked an inning and a third. Gave up a couple hits, 2 runs. Kazmir for 6 2/3. Cormier an inning and a third. And here's the 40-year-old left-hander Brian Schaus.
Pitched on Saturday, 2/3 of an inning, and gets another appearance.
And Molina fouls the pitch. Going to play up the right side, strike 1.
I think Nick Swisher was trying to copy Brian Schaus' delivery a couple times, drop it down. I think he saw him down there warming up.
Well, hey, he's got a scoreless inning under his belt.
Hey, he saved Joe Girardi an inning of bullpen right there, using somebody else. They already used enough guys tonight.
And they all ran high pitch counts. One and two.
This was a really good pickup for the Yankees when they got him from the Angels. The Angels only traded Jose Molina because they had two really good young catchers in Napoli and Jeff Mathis. Jeff Mathis being a better defensive catcher, Napoli being the power guy. So Molina was expendable. But boy, he's a really valuable guy. He can catch and throw.
For ball three. Rays broke out in front early and really didn't look back too much. Moving wider into right, short hop by Gross, and Molina is aboard with a base hit to open the ninth inning. Post-game show coming up immediately following our game on Rays Live. We'll look at the highlights from the game tonight. Hear from Joe Madden. We'll look ahead to Matt Garza's start tomorrow as well, and recap some of the things that happened here in this game. Ground ball by Ransom, second. Hockey. Zobrist 1, Peña 2, 4-6-3 on the double play. So Schaus gets the double play. Melky Cabrera.
Oakland put up a 4 spot against the Red Sox in the second inning. 4-1 Oakland.
There you go. Boston starting the game 2 and 4.
A little bench clearing situation last night or yesterday afternoon.
2 strikes the count. We're at the top of the ninth as the Rays try to close it out. To take the first game of the series from the Yankees, and a little foul ball. Cabrera stays alive.
Kind of knew, we were talking to the Oriole broadcasters walking out, and they said, yeah, a lot of runs going to be scored in Texas. Well, it's 10-9 now because Texas has come back in the 7th inning of their game. 10-9 Baltimore.
Strikes. When you go to Texas with that ballpark and that lineup, you better be ready to score some runs. Ground ball left side. Amar gloves and throws, and it's picked by Peña. Rays win. Rays have taken the first game of this series from the New York Yankees, and they've done it in a big way. It's a 15-5 final. Scott Kazmir is going to get the win.